Hello, inspiring professionals. Welcome back to Evolve Quest. In this video, I wanted to address a very sensitive topic of how to deal with criticism about your career change or when you're growing and expanding in what you do professionally, and specifically when this criticism comes from your parents. You can apply the same process, the same steps to dealing with criticism that comes from other people who are really close to you in your life, like your partner or other family members. But I wanted to focus here specifically on the criticism from parents, because you don't have to be in your 20s to really care for what your mom and dad thinks about your career transition, because we're kind of wired to really appreciate and some kind of like just believe in what they say a lot of the time, really take on their opinion. And so even if you're in your 30s or 40s and later and you have a very close relationship with your parents and their opinion seems to trigger or affect you, then you will find some really useful tips and steps in this video on how to deal with that. And if you're new to my channel, do subscribe to it below and hit the bell notification button so that you hear about new videos as they come out. I often share content here on helping you to evolve your career to its highest potential, so don't miss a video. So it's a little bit emotional for me to talk about this topic because it's something that I have struggled with quite a lot early in my career, especially like around my last career change from the corporate world to studying coaching. The criticism coming from my mother around the change and a lot of kind of anxiety that she was going through, and I was starting to feel it as well. And also some of my current clients in their 30s and 40s who are very supportive of their parents and seem to, call them a lot and have them a lot in their lives. They seem to get triggered by just, a word from their parents that, they really take it on as a criticism, and, they may feel really confident and courageous one day, and once they have that conversation, it kind of like breaks you down and makes you not want to do anything further. That's why I wanted to address this. So you don't need to be a graduate just leaving your parents' home to feel that way, to really care for what your parents think, for what your family thinks. And so just to tell you like a little story, so from my personal experience, for many, many years, I was finding it really strange how my mom's words and opinions about what I was going to do next, like really, really affected me and really kind of brought me down, even though like I had some exciting plans. And the moment I talked to my mom and she goes, but what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What are you going to do? I felt very, very triggered and very, very upset. And I felt like she was not believing in me, that she was trying to bring me down on purpose. So, and so I've had quite a lengthy process of sort of repairing that relationship, like, that kind of having those conversations with my mother. So that's why there's certain things that I've learned there. And something like really, really nice happened this month that also kind of triggered me to record this video is I've been having sort of like a mini career crisis. Career coaches get those too. When I was deciding that I want to also expand in what I do, and my idea of doing that was to buying a very expensive course on learning how to put together a group program and start sort of being able to serve a lot more people outside of just my one-on-one program, and also so that more people can get access to the program at a sort of like reduced rate as well compared to my one-on-ones. So it felt like a very kind of scary step for me, because I would have to take on a lot less one-on-one clients, so there would be a shortfall of income in the meantime as well. And I spoke to my mom about it and how it was affecting me, and there was something really, really heartwarming happened. She said, "Come on, you've done scary things before. You've invested in yourself before. You quit jobs before, and you got it sorted. Look at you now. Look at where you're now. I'm very proud of you." And that was honestly a huge shocker to me. This is not how our relationship around this used to be. And that was like a huge I have no words. I just felt very, very heart-warmed that this is how my mother was reacting to it. But just to give you some context, when I was quitting the corporate job that I was in because I wanted to start my own business and start a coaching practice, she was so triggered that I could not tell her that I was even thinking of making the transition, because she was kind of trying to talk me out of it. So I couldn't tell her that I quit my job and I've been exploring doing new things for 6 months. Yeah, 6 months that after I've stopped working for the last company and starting my own business, I had to lie to her. I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching it, because I could not bring myself up to having a huge argument about it. I needed to protect my energy. I needed to create the transition and then talk to her about it. So there are some things that I learned there that I really, really recommend that you use as well for if you are finding it difficult having those kind of conversations. So the first thing I've learned, which was really causing like a huge conflict with my mother, and that kind of helped to change my perception of it later, is so first of all, assuming her best intentions for me. So if you're also having single conversations with your parents or someone who's very close to you in your family, when they criticize you, you probably feel like they are trying to knock down your confidence, or that they don't believe in you. And that it's coming from the place of wanting something bad for you. This is how I perceived it. On the receiving end, I thought I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought that she doesn't want the best for me. And that was caused a lot of conflict for us and a lot of very emotional, very charged conversations. So one thing that I've learned is that in whichever strange way that advice may come out from your parents, from your close family members, just to be sure, just to know that however not well-intentioned it may look like on the outside, it comes from a huge place of love and desire for you to be safe, to be in the good place, not to take too many risks, just so that you're safe, basically, and it comes out of place of huge motherly, fatherly, family love towards you. It's very unlikely, it's not coming out of bad intentions for you. And the second realization that I've experienced is that the reason that it comes out this way, with a lot of fears and anxieties that it may look like they're trying to put on you, is because their perception of the career market, their perception of life, of reality, of what's possible for us right now is very limited by their life and their experiences and experience of people of their age around them. So most of the time, like even the most forward-thinking, cool parents, a lot of the time they may just not have the visibility. They may not have the knowledge. They may not know the kind of people, networks, tools you have access to that they haven't, right? So I think this is one of the big reasons why it may come out in a negative way when they talk to you about those things. So, and there are a couple of different ways that you can help have healthy discussions with your parents around the topic of career transitioning, expanding and growing in your career. There are a couple of things that you can do to have nicer discussions. And one of them is to show them your thinking, to walk them through step by step about what's going on for you, what it is that you know, what opportunities do you see, what new ways of, maybe starting your business there are right now, what kind of opportunities are ahead of you. So maybe kind of help them expand their horizons, because oftentimes we think, oh, they don't understand, I'm just going to say, yeah, I'm taking the plunge, I'm changing career right now. And that's where we tend to stop. So we don't tend to give them a lot of details. And then actually, so one of my clients, when she sat down with her mother and explained, I have a coach, I have a program, step by step. This is what she's helping me, how she's helping me with, getting clarity, approaching companies, networking, da da da. And she was dreading this conversation, but when it actually happened and she laid out the plan in front of her mother, her mom was like, cool, good for you. I'm really happy for you. Now you have a plan. Now you know what you're doing, So I was very encouraged to see that it's not because she wants to knock down her confidence, it's because she just doesn't know what's the plan and she's nervous, right? So step one, give them a step by step, help them expand their horizons. And second thing, so if you tried that, so if you laid out a step by step and maybe they just don't understand your world in the same way as you do. So the other step that I would recommend people taking if the conversation has happened, you have a plan. By the way, if you don't have a plan, then maybe they have a real reason for worry and you should think about it a little bit more. But if you have a plan and they don't get it, the next step for you is really to kind of make sure that you protect yourself against those negative influences, because they can be very, very hard. You put in all this effort to do what you want, but they can really knock you down so quickly and so easily. So you need to protect your own energy and you need to set boundaries. So one of the ways this client of mine set boundaries with her family is she was very supportive. She would have a conversation with her mother every day and, experience that negative energy. So she decided she's going to call her every third day from now on. 2 phone calls a week, just to make sure that in between she has this moment for herself to replenish her energy. And the other thing you could do to set boundaries, if you don't want to cut down on your amount of communication with your parents, is just to ask them not to address a topic that you feel very sensitive about, and explain to them that you have a plan, you're growing, expanding. It's maybe hard for them to understand, but if you try to explain to them they didn't get it, you're just asking them not to talk about that topic whatsoever. And if they do, then you would, I don't know, like I in the past, I would just say to my mom, we have to finish this conversation, and I would just get off the phone, unfortunately. It feels a little bit heartbreaking thing to do, but in the long term, they will understand what's possible for you. They will see, they'll be very happy for you, to see you happy, but also to see you be stable in your next career step. So protect your boundaries either by reducing contact, and it could be not just with your family, it could be with friends who don't believe in you in your next step or don't fully understand, and also setting boundary around a topic that feels a bit tender or sensitive in the moment. And so on the flip side of that, so if you are setting boundaries with people who are having too much effect on your emotional state when you're in the process of expanding, so if you limit the contact with people who are knocking down your confidence, the other really helpful thing you can do is to find a group of people who are going through similar transition to you, or people who are supportive of your change, who are understanding and who really give you that support and comfort and encouragement and empowerment. And maybe it's a friend that you want to have, conversations with once a week, have check-ins. Maybe a colleague at work is going through a similar process. Maybe there is a group. So I've recently started a group for my clients so that they can really meet each other and kind of have that kind of like a support network to see, oh, we're all in this together. Oh, okay, it's hard. We know it's difficult, but we know what our goal is. We're going for it. So set the boundaries and also hang out with people who are supportive and who are going through a similar process to you. And I think the last point that I wanted to mention that is probably the most key to making sure that you're having healthy relationships with those close people who are closest to you in your life while you're going through, can be like a pretty sort of volatile process of changing and expanding in your career. one of the most important things is to understand that the reason your confidence gets knocked down is because you believe, on some level, you believe in what they have to say about your ability to make the change, or, to find that next job, or to start that, new business or whatever. On some level, you believe in what they're saying. And it's very normal to feel very triggered, because we're kind of weirdly wired. Like for example, I'm really wired to, I used to be even more so, to really, everything my mom says to me, it felt like that's like the truth, the ultimate truth. So it's very hard to have, even now I'm a lot more observant of what sort of advice and opinions I take on and which I don't, but it is still quite hard to have a full emotional separation from her opinions and how that affects me. So, but if it affects you on a very, very deep level, if you get off the phone and break into tears and you can't bring yourself up to just like taking the next step next day to get back on your track, on the plan that you have for your career change, I would say look at what it is that they're saying that on some level you believe in about you, or maybe the process of changing. So understand that there is a part of you that believes in it, and work with that belief. Look at it from different perspectives. Is that true? Is that absolutely true? Is that belief useful for you? Is it supporting you? And is it objective? And most of the time, if you identify that belief and you work with it, you will be able to understand that we are evolving human beings. We expand and grow. So, and you are on that journey right now. So on some level, so look at this belief and see how can you create a more objective and supportive belief to help you through this journey. And so whenever there's some influences in your life, some people who are trying to say that you can't do that, and the market is too crazy right now, whatever it is, or you should stay put, you shouldn't start your business, or whatever it is that you're hearing from people around you, you can hear it, but you don't get as triggered. If you don't believe in it, if you have a different belief about yourself and what you're doing, you might get a little bit affected, but you go like, oh, they don't fully understand what I'm going through, or they don't fully understand what I'm doing. So it will be fine, and you will have a lot calmer composure. And yeah, like this conversation with my mom this week, I was absolutely mind blown, and I just felt so close to her, and so grateful for this journey. And I kind of felt sorry for really doubting her intentions, sorry. In my earlier career, because I know all she wanted for me is safety, is to be good. She lives in Russia, she lived through the Soviet Union, and her kind of the idea of like the top of your career is getting a job in the office, any job, right? So when she realized that actually I'm studying something on my own, she really freaked out. And now like I truly understand that it comes from a place of huge love. So if you are experiencing difficult influences in your family, in your life, I hope these steps will be helpful to make sure that it's not affecting you in a negative way, and to make sure that these relationships are healthy, and that you don't have to exclude these people from your life in order to, while you're achieving what you want. But some boundaries might be useful. So just to maybe walk you through the steps again. Number 1, assume their best intentions. Number 2, explain your process. Give them lay of the land, expand their horizons of what you see. Number 3, accept that they don't have the same visibility and knowledge as you. So if they're not taking that on board, protect yourself. Set boundaries around how much time you spend with them, or the topics that you want or do not want to discuss with them, and ask for their support on that and help. Number 4, find friends who are supportive. Build your support network. And number 5, you have to believe in yourself first. You really have, there is a part of you that doesn't believe in you being able to achieve it. You have to work on this first to make sure that the outside influences are not affecting you as much. So guys, good luck with your search. I hope this was useful. It doesn't matter what age you are, parents, family, close family members can have such a huge effect on our energy and state. And if you have a positive, healthy boundaries, positive conversations around it, it's just a lot more likely that you will feel more, you will take more positive and courageous action in your search, and you will get positive results through it. So good luck, whatever stage you're at. I do have a one-on-one program that I'm running, and as you know, I'm soon starting a group coaching program. So if you're interested in taking part and have someone help you get the plan, help you sort of walk you through this whole process of getting clarity on what you want to do next, and also actually connecting that to the job market or the types of business opportunities that you are looking at. Then email me. I'll leave my email in the comments below. It's Katrin@evolvequest.coach, and I hope you have a lovely time. And I'll see you in the next video. Tell me if maybe you have other questions that you want me to talk about here around career change, expanding and growing in that direction. I'd love to answer them. So yeah, I'll see you here next time.